In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to change the background color on yet another product image, but in this case, we're working with something that's shot more from a straight-on angle. And so we're going to play around with the idea of putting a horizon line, which is a really nice, natural place to have a break between two colors. And I think that this shot, it's actually a Swedish beer designed by Kolar, is a really good candidate for this technique. It's really fun, especially when you use really bright colors. So I've already gone ahead and made a path for our beer. In this case, I used one path to actually select out both things. And the reason I did that is because I don't feel the need to change the relationship distance-wise between these two objects. I like how they're placed. So one path will actually work fine. And same with the shadows. Since we're not changing the relationship, we don't actually have to make a separate cutout for the shadows. We can just use the entire layer since it's shot, on this nice white surface. So we'll go ahead and make a copy of the background layer. We'll go to our Paths tab, alternate click, and make selection. We'll feather it just a little bit like we always do. Go back to layers and create a layer mask. And so now we have this nice cutout thing. Then we'll make another copy of our background layer. And this one we can go ahead and multiply over our color that we're going to use. So we'll select that to multiply. And now we'll create a solid color adjustment layer. There we go. And I'll slide that underneath here. So you can see that's already working. Let's use a color that's more on brand, so maybe we'll select this yellow. There we go. And now we can put in our horizon line. So we can use just the rectangle tool for this, is a pretty good way to do it. So we can just go over here and just make a rectangle. And we can change this color. Maybe we could select that red, but we'll just do a nice blue. It'll be nice and complementary here. There we go, that feels good. So you can see that puts in a horizon line. And depending on how far down this rectangle goes will depend on sort of how deep this table is. So if I transform this and bring it further down, you can see now that it's like on a really short table. Whereas if I transform it up, now it feels like it's on a really deep table. So you can just kind of put this wherever it feels natural to you. Sometimes it's nice to maybe kind of look like it's centered in the table is kind of a natural way to do it. But that's up to you and your aesthetic. So this already looks pretty good. One thing that we might do on some shots is create a blurry line between the two images. But since this image is shot in this really, really sharp style, I don't think it's necessary. And that sharp line actually creates a little bit of a surrealistic effect. It's actually kind of nice. So the last problem we have here is that this stem of the beer glass is actually coming over the color. And since it's clear, it should actually get a little bit of that color coming through. Right now, it just looks like it's shot on white still. So we need to fix that. What we're going to do is actually copy this color fill layer and bring it above our top layer here and set it to a color blending mode. So I'll come down all the way to the bottom here and select color. And what this is going to do, it's going to take that hue and make everything underneath it that exact hue. So that's what we want to do down here, but we don't want to apply everywhere. So we're going to take this layer mask that's already on this color fill layer and actually invert it by hitting Command I or Control I if you're on a PC. What that's going to do, it's going to make the entire layer mask black. So now that effect is not showing up anywhere in this image. So now what we can do is paint white wherever we do want that to show up. So we'll go over to the brush tool, we'll make sure it's on white, and we'll just use a nice soft brush. So take hardness all the way down to 0, and just select something that's kind of the right size here. There we go. And so now if we paint over, and we're probably going to want to turn down our flow as well, because that'll just allow us to get a little more control. We can just start painting over this, and you can see the yellow is starting to come through a little bit. And it's okay if we go a little over the edge because the hue is already this yellow color on that edge. And so we can start just painting it in. And if you think about how this is going to work, it's not going to like be the same yellow everywhere. It's actually going to be a little bit less yellow in the areas where the glass is thicker because the glass isn't 100% transparent. So in kind of these thick edges, like at the edge here, it's not going to go as yellow. There's actually a lot of complex stuff happening in here with refraction. And we can't really calculate what all that is, but just giving some variation to how this yellow is applied is actually going to make it look more natural. So there we go. And once you're done kind of painting that in, you can just sort of scale back and then turn down the opacity of this layer until it looks natural. So you can kind of scale back the effect. Because you don't want it to be full color. It's probably better if it's more in kind of this range, like 50% for this case. So you can see if I turn that layer off and on, it just looks more like it's sitting on the yellow now. So that's all you have to do to inject a horizon line. It's really fun. You can see that if I go back to how it looked before, there's nothing wrong with this image, but once we put this effect on, it's really fun and brings a lot of life to this. So hope that's helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.